Welcome to another episode of AI Spotlight Show. My name is Henry Onowole, the host of AI Spotlight Show. And today we are live at Snowflake Summit 2025 here at Moscone Center, San Francisco, California. And today we are featuring Snowflake, who are the organizer of the summit. And I have the privilege to be in one of their booths. And today, who do we have the privilege of speaking with?
Hey, Henry, I'm Josh. Good to meet you. I'm a developer advocate here at Snowflake.
Wow, that is amazing. And we are looking to explore some of the newly released AI products that were launched during the keynote section today. And Josh, do you mind delving into those specific AI products that were announced?
Totally, yeah. It's an amazing time to be an AI engineer and a builder with Snowflake. So one thing that I'm particularly excited about is the cursor experience in Snowflake. So having that Snowflake Copilot that can code along with me and help me autocomplete so I never have to leave the Snowflake notebook. And I can build my workflow right in the Snowflake notebook. A second thing I'm really excited about is the AI SQL. So this allows me to make my data multimodal. So I can have these AI operations that operate on all of my images, all of my voice, all of my text, all at once, all in super simple SQL commands. And then the third thing I'm really excited about is some of the recent state-of-the-art releases we have, both on text-to-SQL and inference optimization. So on the text-to-SQL side, we're actually on top of the Bird SQL leaderboard on the best single model performance translating text into SQL. And this is super useful for all of that data that's sitting in tables. So we can ask natural language questions and then get answers based on that structured data. And then the second is the inference optimizations. So we have open source plugins for a library called VLLM that make LLMs go really fast. And this is going to provide huge benefits to all of the developers that are working with Snowflake and Snowflake Cortex.
Wow, that is really amazing. Before we deep dive into specific AI products that you just talked about now, can you give our audience a description of what Snowflake platform does, from different perspectives? From a data transformation perspective, if someone, let us say an end user who wants to use as Snowflake, what should be a perfect description of what data solution Snowflake offer?
So Snowflake is the perfect platform for data-intensive applications.
Okay.
And this can be any type of data. So as we just mentioned, it could be text, it could be image, it could be video, it could be structured data, unstructured, semi-structured, all of the data we can work with and all from different sources. So one of the things I didn't mention that we announced today was OpenFlow. So OpenFlow is how you get all of these different multimodal types of data into Snowflake, and so you can build applications on top of them. So easier way to think about it, the more data intensive your application is, the better fit it is to build on Snowflake.
Wow, that is amazing. Do you also want to hit on the role of Snowflake helping organization in the area of data transformation, data manipulation, and also serving probably as a temporary storage center, and also helping in the movement of data from one platform to another?
Yeah. So one of the things we announced, another thing we announced today that I didn't mention also is SnowConvert. So SnowConvert is how you can do AI-assisted migrations from other data platforms into Snowflake. And the way this works is that AI agents can check the quality of data that's coming into Snowflake and run queries and see how and validate they perform the same way in Snowflake versus other platforms.
Okay, great. Now let's deep dive into these specific products, and I would like you to explain each specific product with a use case and look at it from a data engineering perspective.
Okay.
Yeah, if we can start looking at each of these specific products with a use case and a description from a data engineering perspective, where we can talk about some of the stack flow, talk about the technology stacks or the architecture.
Where do you want to start?
Yeah, let's start with any one of your choice.
Okay. I think like a natural place to start is AI SQL.
Okay.
So AI SQL is allows you to do a lot of the transformations that you were previously doing on structured or semi-structured data,
Okay.
but now you can do it on multimodal data. So if we connect some of the ideas we've talked about together, so we talked about OpenFlow. That's how
Okay.
you're getting all of this multimodal data in. So
Okay.
that's your load, and then now you can not only load it, but you can transform it using AI SQL. So you get all of the world's data in, and then we can transform it. So take an example where you have hundreds or thousands of images, maybe they're like magazine covers, or maybe they're like stock charts and things like that. We can run AI SQL to extract key concepts, or we can filter. Say maybe I have like thousands of magazine covers and I want to filter to only the ones that are about a particular holiday, like Christmas. I can use AI filter to do that multimodal workload, and that would have been a ton of code I had to write before, and much more expensive without AI SQL.
Okay. And let's look at the second one.
Yeah, so a second one I mentioned also was the like LLM inference. So the like one piece that we talked about was SwiftKB. So this is kind of one of the under the hood technologies of Arctic inference, and this is really great for the like really big batch, high concurrency workloads. So from a data engineering perspective, this is what enables these really large batch AI operations, right? As we're transforming this data in hundreds of thousands of rows all at once, we need some serious optimizations to make that happen. And the SwiftKB is exactly how we do it.
Wow. And the third one?
Hmm?
The third product. I think we're looking about 3 products, right?
The Copilot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as the data engineer is building and writing their pipelines,
Okay.
now that they have a Copilot to help them write their code, and this can be Python and SQL all in the same notebook.
Okay.
And one of the things, if you've ever worked with Snowflake notebooks, that's really nice is that the like Python cells and SQL cells are super interoperable, so you can pass through variables between cells across languages.
Okay.
So like some operations are much more natural to do with SQL, and some operations are much more natural to do with Python from an engineer perspective. And there's no limitation on how many times you can pass back and forth.
Wow, that is amazing. Now, let us look at the application of all these newly released AI features in a regulated environment like the healthcare and also the financial industry, where there is high regulation like HIPAA policy. Now, can you describe what guardrails Snowflake put in place to give organizations like these that level of trust?
Yeah, so this is bread and butter for Snowflake, right? So Snowflake really thrives in giving you a trusted, secure environment to hold, run compute, and build applications on your data. So all of the same things that you're familiar with, like role-based access control, and like different ways to authenticate, all of that stuff is going to come for free anytime you're building with Snowflake. So it doesn't just benefit one use cases because Snowflake is one product. So anything you build on Snowflake, you get all of those same security and governance benefits.
Wow, that is really great. And I think one question would be, I know you are aware of responsible AI principles, which also has to do with the area of the trust. Now, does Snowflake has some certain features where users, organization will be able to see the performance of all these activities that are taking place while utilizing all of these AI features? Maybe something like a dashboard where they can actually monitor or observe this activity. It would be nice if you can talk about it.
Yeah, that's a really great question. So in the Snowflake platform, we have AI observability. So anytime you're building AI applications, you can log and evaluate and monitor them in Snowflake. So we can both trace the execution flow of different applications, including agents, and then we can also run evaluations on top of them. So not only do we see exactly what happens on any given agent execution, but we can also say, did that agent make the right tool call? Did that agent write the right plan? Did that agent operate as efficiently as it could have. So all of these things we can do in Snowflake.
Wow, that is great. Um, can you mention some most specific use cases that current Snowflake customers actually exploring in terms of these newly released AI products? You don't have to mention the name of those companies, but maybe you can give us some of the most use cases you have seen when it comes to current clients or enterprise organization utilizing Snowflake. I know yesterday we had the U.S. Stock Exchange president was here, and she was talking about how they've been utilizing Snowflake to build LLM, and that is really amazing to know. Then I don't know if you can, talk more about those specific use case that has to do with maybe building LLM, building generative AI, or foundational models.
Yeah, I think it's really limitless, right? Like we can build all sorts of AI applications on Snowflake. I think like we started to move from like only RAGs and like kind of simple like question answering apps to the world of agents and data agents. So these are like ways that AI can operate on all of your different types of data and make some of those like key decisions on the user asked this question and that's most answerable from this data source, where it asks this other question, it's this answerable from like this document or the structured table. So lots of customers are deploying these sorts of applications both internally and externally so they can make their business move faster.
Wow. And with that, are you saying that organization can rely on Snowflake to handle as many workload as possible when it comes to building AI applications?
We really thrive there. This is perfect for Snowflake. So Snowflake gives you the platform. So you don't have to worry about all of the infrastructure to really handle all of the really large storage and the really large compute. We make that really easy.
Wow, that is great. Then what are some of the customer success stories that have been shared with you guys? I know we had some yesterday. Do you want to talk about some of those customer success stories? How organizations have been able to leverage Snowflake AI features in terms of streamlining their data workflow as well as their data engineering process?
I think it's for some of these use cases, it's early days. So we published some of the stories online, and I think maybe that's like the best place to read about some of those. Yeah.
Okay, great. And what is Snowflake doing in terms of engaging members of the public? I know yesterday the CEO talked about the builders. Now, can you tell us, does Snowflake has like an open source platform that gives people the opportunity to actually join Snowflake in building this fascinating AI innovative technology?
Yeah, you're sitting at the perfect place. So Snowflake loves to build with the ecosystem, with the community.
Okay.
So a lot of the key innovation that's powering our product, we're releasing in open source and open research. So when we talked about the leading Texas SQL models, that's open source. When we talked about the inference optimizations that work on models like Llama and Quen, that's open source. When we talked about the tracing and evaluation platform, that's open source. All of these different things we like give to the public, so the public can use and build with us and gain confidence and really to get excited about the work we're doing.
Wow, that is great. Do you have some things to show us, maybe from your screen? I don't know if you want to probably provide more context to some of the questions you've been answering.
Yeah, maybe I can just kind of walk you through how this all fits in one stack, right?
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
If we start from the bottom up, right, we have all of our data. So this is all the ways you can get data in. We can use things like OpenFlow to get data from SharePoint, data from Slack, data from Box. We can use the Snowflake Marketplace to take advantage of both like data sets but also Cortex Knowledge Extensions. So Cortex Knowledge Extensions are like pre-built search services that so you don't have to worry about the chunking, the parsing, And it's a search service ready to go and ready to add to your data agent. And then the multimodal data. So we can have data that's documents, audio, images, and it can be both native to Snowflake or sitting externally. So we talked about the data layer, and then we can move on to the processing and retrieval. That's one step above. So Cortex Search is how we can process and operate on that unstructured text. So we can search and find the optimal chunk to answer a given question, or maybe even do that in batch. And that's how a lot of people are building these sort of question and answer applications and RAGs. We talked about the text to SQL a lot. So that powers use cases like answering questions on structured data. So questions like, what was my revenue in the last 6 months? Or how do I compare revenue by region? Things like that. And then moving all the way up to the top, we have the agents and insights. So this is the application layer, right? How do we actually build those agents? How do we use things like Streamlit and Snowflake Intelligence at the application layer? How do we use TrueLens and MCP to handle the glue and the inner workings and the evaluations? And all of this really comes together to build your agent stack. And the other thing I want to point out here is that all of these things that are mentioned in bold, all of these are open source. So you see open source peppered across the whole slide. And that's because we really do build open source first, and open source powers a lot of the great work we're doing. So we're building with the ecosystem.
That is great. And what is OSS?
OSS is open source.
Okay.
Yeah, open source software is the acronym. Yeah.
That's a nice acronym. I think I've seen that for the first time.
Good.
Yeah, that is really amazing. Now, in terms of AI and data engineering, AI and data ops, what do you think will be the next phase? It seems AI innovation is going, someone said, maybe faster than the speed of light.
That's definitely true.
What do you think will be the next phase? What phase are we actually going when it comes to AI and data engineering, AI and data ops?
So that's the great thing about being at a place like Snowflake Summit. We're living in the future, so we don't have to imagine what's coming next because it's here. Yeah. So what that is all of the data that you can imagine. So all of this multimodal data we've been talking about, now we can build applications with it. So now it's time to I'd say 2023 maybe is when people started building AI prototypes. Then people were building and starting to move into production, and people are going to continue pushing that boundary, bringing more applications into production and getting more value for the enterprise.
Wow, that's great. Now, what is Snowflake doing in terms of individuals that want to upskill themselves? Does Snowflake have a resources where people can visit in order to upskill themselves?
Totally.
There's one partnership I was able to secure recent was with NVIDIA to be able to offer NVIDIA AI courses and certification for free, because I believe in democratization of AI education. Then what is Snowflake doing in that perspective?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we build a lot of content and courses and educational resources on a lot of different platforms. So you can, we have Gen AI and data engineering and intro to Snowflake courses on LinkedIn Learning, on Data Camp, on Coursera, on Deep Learning AI. All of these different platforms you can learn and really build and get your hands on Snowflake for free. So that's definitely one great way to get started. And then the other place I would point you to is if you like to get hands-on first instead of more of a lecture style, is to just go to our quick starts and start building. So one thing people often notice when they start building with Snowflake is that it can be so easy. People will often say, oh, I have 2 months to learn Snowflake. Where do I get started? You don't need 2 months to learn Snowflake. It's not that hard. We make it really easy. We abstract away a lot of the hard stuff, so you can just get started building. So go check out our Snowflake quick starts and build your first prototype.
Wow, that is good. And what of Snowflake University? Would that be a good place to visit as well? Is it free? Snowflake University? I think I've seen something like that.
That's a good question. I'm not exactly sure on Snowflake University. I think that might be targeted a bit more to our like Snowflake customers that need more of a hands-on learning experience.
Okay, and the certification.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Great. Now, what is your suggestion in terms of organization driving change management with bringing in Snowflake AI solutions?
Mhm.
How do you think they'll be able to drive change management seamlessly
Uh,
within the organization? What is your personal opinion on that? Or you can, give an opinion from your own personal experience.
So I think the way to think about it is you just need to find the use cases that really get value. So
Okay.
think about starting small and really show value to the business of using the technology. So think about value first and technology second. And Snowflake's really great for that because we make it so easy to build.
Great. Then I think the next question is cost optimization in terms of using the platform. Does Snowflake has features that help enterprises and users to be able to utilize this platform more efficiently from a cost point of view? Are there features that help them to, monitor that and, make sure they are not spending over more than their budgets?
Yeah, there's a bunch of different ways you can do this. So
Okay.
one is that we have built-in anomaly detection on your cost. So if there's like big spikes and we can like detect those as anomalous, we can let you know so you can take action and kind of set your policy on how you want to treat things like that. A second would be adaptive warehouses. So adaptive warehouses were enough today, so you can move from like t-shirt size based warehouses to really having that like handled efficiently for you by Snowflake. So that's gonna save you a lot of money and like give you better economics on a lot of those workloads. And then the third thing I would mention is that we're always making our our compute more efficient. So a lot of the like inference optimizations we talked about is one way. And then also on the data transformation layer, we're doing a lot of things there. And we publish blogs pretty regularly on real customer traffic, how much faster and how much better economics you get just for free. So you don't have to do anything different, and suddenly your queries are getting better and better over time. So I would definitely check that out. It's definitely something to watch.
Wow, I agree with you. And we're almost done. This is a personal question. You as an individual, how have you been able to keep up to date with the new rolling out of different
Totally.
AI models
all the time. Yeah. Yeah, I think the key is not to be overwhelmed, right? There's like always so much stuff happening.
Yeah.
So just start building. So figure out the pieces that work with you and really start using them. The more you actually build with this technology, the more you're going to understand it, and that's only going to accelerate your progress.
And what is your advice for someone or an individual who wants to become maybe an AI data engineer? What would be your advice for them, for someone who is starting a new career as an AI data engineer?
Yeah, so it's kind of analogous to what I just said. So start building, and this is how I've built my career a lot as well. Is if there's like a role that I've wanted to do that was different than my current role, I find places in my current role to do the job that I want to have. So if it's a lot like maybe like this is an older saying, people would say like dress for the job you have.
Yeah.
So think of like an analogous saying that is like do the job you want.
Yes.
Right. So like really start using those skills in the job you have. Start building, and then either your current employer or some like future employer will see these skills and like evidence based on the things you built.
Wow, that is great. And my last question: what would be your TV takeaway for an enterprise organization that wants to leverage Snowflake AI solution? What would be your TV takeaway mostly for our audience. Most of our audience are decision makers from top companies from various industries within the US and also outside the US. What would be your three takeaway for them in terms of making decision to bring in Snowflake platform in terms of exploring Snowflake AI solutions?
Yeah, so I would give you kind of like three like words to remember, right?
Okay.
Snowflake is easy. Snowflake is the easiest way to build AI applications on top of your data, and to do a lot of those data intensive workloads. Snowflake is connected to all of your data, and this is increasingly true, right? Snowflake is connected from all these different data sources through things like OpenFlow. Is connected to all of your data in multimodal ways, right? So you can not only bring in all of this data, but you can transform the data no matter what it looks like. And then Snowflake is trusted. So we touched on this as well, right? So you get all of those governance benefits, all of this RBAC, all of this authentication pieces that you get with Snowflake happen anytime you're building on top of Snowflake. So easy, connected, trusted.
Wow. Thank you so much for joining
Thanks
this
so much, Henry.
episode
This was
of
great.
AI Spotlight Show.
Awesome.
Wow, this is really an insightful interview. And I want to appreciate Josh for his time and also Snowflake for giving us this golden privilege to get to discuss about the newly AI products launched by Snowflake. For individuals who are looking to pursue a career in AI data engineering, even though we know there's a new concept about vibe coding, and I think that was the reason I was asking Josh that what do you think would be the paradigm shifts when it comes to AI data engineering and also data ops? Now that we have technology like Lovable that can help you to write some of these SQL code, even Python code, and what will be the next phase? Because now we're having new experts, they call themselves vibe code experts or vibe code engineers. Are they really engineers? You know, these are some of the questions, but just as Josh said, leverage the resources from the Snowflake platform and start building. Then whatever technology you can lay your hand on in terms of AI technology that you want to become an expert in it, all you need to do, visit their website and see some of the use cases that Josh also shared with us. These are some of the things you can also explore. Now we have different AI technology that are being launched from week to week or from month to month. Sometimes every week there's a new product launch, and this is really amazing. And this is what makes AI to be AI. Permit me to use that word. Yeah, thank you so much for joining this episode of AI Spotlight Show with Snowflake. And stay tuned to our next interview, which is going to be day 3 of the Snowflake Conference 2025. Welcome to Snowflake, and talk to you guys soon. Take care. My name remains Henry Onowale.